Alright, Mr. Gatekeeper here, as usual. Who else would it be on this video, right? Alright, we got a pretty neat project right here for Mr. M. Hello, Gatekeeper. This is Mr. D. M. Senior. I'm sending you a Texas TS500 amp. I bought this off eBay in working condition. I have not hooked up to see if it works, so I guess first thing you do is hook it up to see it works. You're right, bud. Just hope they were telling you the truth. It always works a lot easier if it works and it costs you less money. I know that's the truth. If there is anything wrong with it, such as lights not working or preamp, SSB working, if anything new, go ahead and fix it. Now for the mods, the fun stuff. I want done, please do a power wire upgrade. I don't know when the last time I received a Texas Star that didn't want a power wire upgrade. I think there was one time maybe 6 months ago. We're talking about probably, I don't know, 60, 70 Texas Stars ago. Just estimating. I think a guy sent me a Texas Star and he didn't put that on there, but I gave him a call and was like, hey man, you want to do a power wire upgrade? Yeah, let's do one. So it's been a while since I've sent one back without one. I don't even remember when. Let's see, it's like a default now. The dual fan kit, that's cool. I like the dual fan kits. On the bottom, as you normally do, paint job on both, roger that. Using these new Texas Star cases, man, some of them I'm not even painting because they're powder coated and they look nice, man, real nice. I may try to paint one just to check it out, but they're powder coated, man, they're nice. Let's see here, they're more expensive too. Tall legs. I remember when you first told me that, I went ahead and ordered you some. These are the tallest ones I've ever had so far. These bad boys are about twice as tall as my normal ones, so this right here will give you some good coverage. And they already have metal washers in them too, so that's great. That's great. Probably gonna have to use some number 8s on those. I don't think I'm gonna use number 6 hardware. Let's see here. Going in a 2008 Hummer H2. Sucker riding clean, son. It needs to actually also install a jack for an X-Force remote. And I went ahead and told you on the phone, just installing a jack for a remote on these bad boys ain't the same for regular homebrew amps. You just don't install a jack and hook up 2 wires. No, it takes a bit of modification, which I've only done once with a 250, but I didn't really do it the way it needed to be done on that one. If y'all have ever seen that video, the guy had to leave the power button turned in, pressed in, and when he unplugged it, he could push it out. But if he was using it, he had to leave the power button pressed in, so the remote for that technically was not actually turning on the amp. What it was doing was turning off the amp, but it still felt as if you were turning it on. Now I have done some serious thinking and pondering. You probably can't see, I didn't use an ink drawing my little chicken scratch there, but I think I figured it out, bud. And it's going to take a little bit of work. I am going to have to remove the front board, but I think we can do this for you, man. It's something I've been wanting to try out anyway, to hook up some of my Y-motes. I thought to a Texas Star. That's one thing I haven't done. I'm about to start mass producing those Y-motes again, by the way. I'm not going to be making them. Just little stuff like that. I'm going to start outsourcing it so that I can have a mass amount in stock. Because if I do it myself, I'm slow, y'all. Y'all know Gatekeeper's slow as a goddamn snail. That's just that's just me. I'm not a fast worker, man. I really ain't. And I take my time, and sometimes I take a little bit too much time, as a lot of y'all know. So here's your X-Force. Top got bent and shipping. if I bend that back for you. And in here you said, if you want, you can remove the X-Force decal off the remote and replace it with Gatekeeper. Well, I don't normally do that, but I know X-Force is no longer. There's no longer an X-Force, so I think that's probably the only reason I will agree to do that, because X-Force is no longer a current brand. Carl has now, from what I understand, this is what I've heard from multiple people. I hadn't actually talked to Carl myself. I've heard it from some very reputable people, so I've heard that Carl has basically bought it and just changed to Carl Built, which I think is really cool. That Carl's got a great name, man. I don't know if I've ever even heard anybody say anything negative about Carl. Oh, D103, man. D103. Oh, D123. I keep thinking about V1. We got a radio station here called V103. I'm talking about old Danny 123 and like D123. That's it. That's my new nickname for him. D123. I think I'm gonna get a little audio recording. I did something for his birthday and got a. He thought it was kind of corny, and it kind of was. I got a. What was it? A British accent female to do a little recording. Maybe I'll play it on one of these videos. Or maybe he'll be embarrassed about it. Maybe I shouldn't. But basically, it was a recording for him to maybe use out there in DX land on some of his hi-fi equipment. You know, like, Danny 123, your audio is. I ain't gonna say what I said. I won't do that. I won't do that to him, man. I ain't gonna embarrass a fella. It was funny. Yeah, I think it was more of a joke than anything, and he may. I was like, I'm gonna do this as a joke, but he may like it, may want to use this. One of them type of deals. But basically, it's just talking about Danny 123. Your audio is orgasmic. It was a word like that. But anyway, all right. I'm moving this thing around too much, ain't I? Y'all always say you get drunk watching my videos. I need to get better about that. We got a lot of things planned, y'all, for when I make my relaunch here. None of y'all are gonna see this video except the guy here, probably until another 2 or 3 months. But I still have to talk to you like you're gonna be watching it here tomorrow. That's just, you know. But I got a lot planned when I relaunch this. I'm gonna be getting into the computer, doing a lot of SEO, bringing up a lot of my old skills that I was using before I got in this. I'm a computer nerd, y'all. I really do believe I should be making at least $500K a year with how long I've been in computers, how much software I've designed. It's just the way life works, man. Things go through your life. You get knocked off course. You get knocked off to another course. You know, you find CV. You find other things. And sometimes you go back and connect them. That's what I'm trying to work on now, is connecting my both loves together. Computer and radio together. So I got a lot of things planned. Alright. So, you pretty much says you want this thing looking good. Now some people will say, Gatekeeper, do your thing. Now that gives me a wide open area to do what the heck I want to do. You didn't exactly say that, but in a way you did. You did say you want this thing looking good. So, let's talk about something. This is an old Texas Star. This is the ones before they get knocked by the FCC. No holes. So you can tell, okay? There's no holes on the back. It didn't come with a keyer in it. So it wasn't an actual CW transmitter when you bought it. Alright. This front faceplate's got to be replaced. You see that? I'm not letting this thing go back to you without replacing it. It's bent up. It's old. We can replace it. Alright. I hope we can replace it. I need to look and make sure I do have some non-Vs. I get more variable Texas Stars in than anything. There's more of these that are sold less than, because I think everybody's like, oh, I want a variable. I want a variable. But they sell with variables more. Me personally, I don't care if it's like this or with a variable. I don't use a variable much. Now, if I'm using it as a driver, that's different. I may have to tweak the variable a tad bit to get that dad carrier where I want it. Other than that, no. Alright. I'm gonna look at this case. I may be able to reuse it, clean it up, paint it, and look brand new. But I may end up replacing it with a new lid to match your bottom, because these lids are done with, man. Tell me if this makes any sense. The vinyl got too expensive, right? So they're now powder coating them. But now they're being sold for like 35% more. I don't understand that. I guess vinyl got like very expensive. So we were buying their old stocks, what we were doing. So they bend these with the vinyl already on it. So they're actually getting it, putting the vinyl on it, and bending them. From my understanding, of course. Oh God. There's a goddamn wasp in here. Hold on a second. I'm about to kill your ass. I think I got it. How in the hell did he get in here? Sucker like touched my nose, man. Sucker touched my goddamn nose, dude. Luckily I didn't get one swipe and I got that joker, man. I don't know where he went. Probably sitting on top of my head. I don't know how he got in here, man. I'm sealed in here pretty much. Oh, that's another reason why I do not smoke no more while I'm working. I do still have that bad habit, but I can't do it no more. So that's kind of a good thing, though. I don't need to be smoking while I'm working anyway. I smoke 10 times more. So still need to put a venter hood up in here. Now I'm pretty much wearing kind of a mask to keep the solder smoke out of my nose, but I still need to install a venter hood in here pretty soon. But I'm pretty much sitting in a plastic box, y'all. You can see in my garage. So I'm sitting here in a plastic box now, so I can regulate the heat and the cool air. Okay, in the summer. Gosh, right now I wouldn't be working. It's 98 degrees today. If I didn't have this in here, I would not be working today. And I went through that for the last, I don't know, 6-7 years before I finally got smart enough to do this, thanks to my buddy Marty. But I'm blabbing here, y'all. Let's get started. Let's get started. When it comes to this meter right here, this meter's old, man. This box is probably about 25 plus years old. I can't say exactly how old it is, but it is an old box. I may replace this meter for you, I may not. We'll see. I know it'll look best if I do, because it is I mean, it's not terrible. I may see if I can clean it up for you, but first I need to make sure the meter's even working, because the needle is sitting past the zero, if you can see there. Let's see, delay and preamp has faded. Dial-a-watt, it's hard to even see the dial-a-watt on there, but I think the dial-a-watt's faded. So I may give you 4 new lenses on here. You said you wanted to look good, man, so I've got to look at cosmetic things. But the main thing I'm worried about that thing's just being held in by the wires in there. Main thing I am worried about is let's see what this thing looks like inside. I normally don't keep the video recording like this, but oh well. I'll usually stop. I just don't keep recording like other people do, like Mr. BBI, Mr. Number 3. I'm sure there's probably some other guys. They'll pretty much keep the recorder on for you, so you can, all you big fans out there, you know, you can sit there and watch them do the whole shebang. The only reason I don't do that is I don't have a stationary camera set up out here. I don't got enough room, really. I got a tripod for this. I tried to kind of set it up like that, but it just didn't work out. I need a little bit more room. I'll tell you like this, I need more room or 2 cameras is what I need. Let me put me another camera overhead, but that's something that's in the making. Because when you do what we do, you're not only setting up a shop, you're also setting up a recording studio in a sense. So when I get my building put up back there, that's what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be setting up a recording studio as well. It's time to turn this up. Old Gatekeeper's been the good old boy in Georgia that's just been doing his thing. Just down to earth, you know, whatever happens while I'm recording happens. If y'all watch some of my earlier videos, I think I was kind of known for a comedian of some sort, because I don't know, for some reason crazy stuff was happening while I was recording back then. I hadn't had a lot of that happen now, because I guess I'm enclosed and not much stuff like rats running up and seeing or rats running because my cat's chasing it and crazy stuff like that. She's always chasing. That's what she's one of the reasons she's here for, since we live out here in the country. But I can't remember. I have to look at some. I leave my old videos up. Some people don't do that, because I understand somebody could go look at my old videos and be like, dang, Gatekeeper he ain't nothing special. I leave them up so y'all can see where I came from. What the heck we got going on here? What in the... I got a resistor blown on the preamp circuit. That 10 ohm is charred pretty dang bad. Somebody's been driving the heck out of this thing. What in the heck are they got going on here? They got a LED. They got this drilled right here with an LED in it. Yeah, I'm replacing this. It looks like what they've got, if I'm just going to take a wild guess, they've got it hooked into the RF, which is almost shorted on the board. Look at this. This right here is the RF coming back to the relay right here. Looks like they got the LED hooked up to that RF so that it, you know, blinks while you're talking. Which is a cool idea. It's a cool idea, don't get me wrong. I ain't never done it before. It's a cool idea. I would use an actual RF circuit to do that though. Don't know how well that's working. I don't see any. What in the... I hope that LED's not shorted. It is burnt down there at the end. I was about to say that can blow an LED. Yeah, see, these are one of those covers right here that has to be bolted on. You see that? The reason why, because there's no variable to hold it. That's why. I don't know if I've ever actually converted a Texas Star from this over to a variable before. I've wrote out the instructions to do it, but just never done it. No one's ever asked me to. Cool thing about this, you get 4 different power levels you can choose from. I've definitely had a few guys see that the delay gives you a delay, and it also gives you more attenuation. I've had guys ask me to remove that attenuation on the delay before. I've had guys do that. But it's still a 500, man. Most people are going to be hitting it a little bit. We got Toshibas in here. That's good. Alright. I mean, everything else just looks like it always pretty much does with an older one. We'll be removing this right here and throwing a metal down for you. I always do that. That's just how they did it back then. Metals wasn't, they probably were pretty expensive. If you look, they got a 91 Pico. So you can tell this is old. They put hundreds down now. So we'll take that out, put 100 on there. And I'm not a big fan of these right here. I just don't like the way those boxes look. We'll probably take that out. Put an orange dip 1200 on there. Got one right here too. So you can tell it's not super old because it's not set up for positive grounded vehicles. If you ever get a Texas Star, and if you look right here, I ain't got time to be sitting there doing all this, but it's just my style, man. I got a lot of work to do. See right here, the screws, how it's set up so this screw is shorted out to the ground. Well, if you ever find this to where these screws are not shorted out to the ground, they have a capacitor that goes from here to the ground. Those are set up for positive grounded vehicles. So technically, when this box is hooked up in a positive grounded vehicle, the frame and the heat sink will actually be positive. It will be positively charged. Just the way that works. So this right here would go to the body of the car. Just like that. This right here would go to up to the battery, to the negative of the battery. It's backwards. Don't know why. I remember some reason why, but I can't exactly remember though. But anyway, we're gonna hook this thing up first, see what's going on. But I ain't gonna keep you on camera while I'm hooking everything up. First, I gotta check the bias. They left that resistor upside and turned this one upside down. They normally turn them upside down. And look at that lamp right there. That lamp is just face down. Not too sure why. Somebody just, it looks like it's about close to being shorted. So anyway, I'll go look through here and check out everything really good for you, man. I got my little checklist I always go through. They don't look too bad on the inside though, it really don't. So that's good. We'll be back. We'll have to remove this board, man. Whoo! Hope I can pull this off, y'all. You think I can? We'll see. Remote. First remote I've seen so far on a Texas Star. I'm sure somebody else is out there has done it for sure. There's a lot of these amps out there. Real easy to do for the 1600s. I've already put a Y mode on the 1600. That's actually the last video that's still public on my YouTube. Probably about 140 videos since then y'all haven't seen, but y'all will soon. Alright, next thing I'm going to point out really quick here is the tune on this thing is absolutely wrong for a 500. Now, I don't know if they've just done something weird with this one. We'll have to see how it's working. There have been times I have got Texas Stars before and they were not tuned by the book. So I say by the schematics, how normally all of them are done, and they work fine because Texas Star, and they probably was just playing around with different tunes. I don't know, but this one right here is just way off, man. This is supposed to be a 500, right? It's supposed to have thousands right here on the output. These are Toshibas. We got 1200s right here. All right. This input tune is supposed to be a 330. We got a 120. Now that's how it is on a 400. On a Texas Star 400, but right here we have 1800 picofarad caps. That ain't that way on any Texas Star. I don't know what's up with that. If it is a 400, it should have a 1500 cap. If it is a 500, it should have a 1200 cap. All right, now the output's the way it is for, you know, either or pretty much. Yeah. That's pretty much the same there. But the next is the wraps. On a 500, you're going to have 2 wraps on the input. 2 wraps. Okay. On a 400, you're going to have 4 wraps. No, 5, excuse me. You're going to have 5 wraps on a 400. This has 3 wraps right in the middle. So let me get it hooked up and see what's going on with it. And I looked at this LED again. I have never seen anybody do something like this before. They got the positive of the LED on your input RF. It's flowing through the relay switch. They've got the ground of the LED on your actual output of the amps. I don't know. I ain't never seen anybody do that. I almost don't feel safe even keying it up like that, to be honest with you. That's crazy. That's crazy. I ain't never seen anybody do that before. Get you positive from what's coming in, get you negative from what's coming out. What in the hell? I'm sorry, but that's just crazy. Now, they could have put a resistor on here, okay, or put a resistor on here and put it to ground, and it would have flickered while you're talking on your input. But this, I ain't gonna key it up like this. This is crazy. I'll be back. Alright, keeps getting more and more here. These SO239s are old. I had an amp that's about 30 something years old here last, and SO239s are still okay. This is what I don't like. Look at that center conductor. See that? And the center conductor on this. They become dislodged from the insulator. I don't like that. We're going to put some new SOs on here, bud. Take them off and clean them. I don't like that, man. I don't like that center conductor moving. That can throw the inductance off a bit, believe it or not. It really can. And it can't. It's just one of them things. Alright. I just try to document everything I see. Alright, man. Yeah, it looks like this is just one of Texas Star's little fun experimental tunes, man, because these tunes can have so many different equations. You can just input and take off the wrap, make up for it for the cap on top. That's what that is, the compensation capacitor. So with the amount of output we're getting, I mean, it's okay. Seems to be okay. As long as I can get 500 watts out of an amp, a Texas Star 500, hitting it with my bench radio, she's good to go. This is on high. PEP, bottom scale. Oh, just right there at 500 watts. Bird, oh, about 180. So, and the input's great. A little bit better than great. About virtually nothing. I wasn't expecting that, I'll be honest with you. I really wasn't, but looks like this is just one of their experimental tunes, man. And I know that these Toshibas in the past, the input and output impedance did vary a bit from the old school non-dots and this and that, but it just shows you there is more than one way, as they say, to skin a cat. So if you took these 1800s right here off, threw some 1200s right here, you'd see the reflect come up, see the watts go down. This is just a way they were able to make this work. Pretty impressive. I'd have to go back in my old memory. I need to write stuff like this down. I do like write down all my problems I find, but like stuff like this I should write down, like Texas Star tunes. But the bias looks great. They're pretty level, about 0.002 off from each other, which is absolutely acceptable. So I am going to get down and replace this, man. It's just too charred up for me. That's just from somebody hitting the living crap out of it, is what that is. I don't really know what blows these extra 470s right here. That's something you'll see on some, and you won't see them on others. I don't quite understand about that. I need to check into that. I've always noticed it. They basically got it going to ground from the, is that the input? To me, if you ask me, it's to lower the gain a little on the preamp. Maybe that preamp was a little bit too high a gain. And I don't know what the heck they need with this extra cap right here either. It's already got the 104 down here, so I don't know what's up with that, man. I probably want to remove that. Alright, man. this little tiny little wimpy filter cap right here for your positive. That's what this is right here, the positive rail. It's connected to this with a trace. Make it a little easier to, a lot of them you'll see the long 2200s. You'll see them 2200s sometimes connected to the bias. Alright, let's get to work. Let's remove this board, solder all this. Now that I know the amp is working, I can go ahead and do the power wire upgrade and do all that. I want to get all those type mods done first before I work on the remote mod. I think what I'm doing, since this does have a big 1/4 inch jack on it, I think what I'm gonna do is try to put that one probably right here. And I'll put the fan switch where I always do, right here. And I need to replace them for you, man. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. Yeah, it's working as you can see, but I don't like it. I don't like it. It's bent a little bit too right there, which I'll try to straighten that out a little bit. Place this front for you. And this meter's working great. Oh, about this, it's blown, which I think somebody had an idea. And I mean, there's nothing wrong with ideas. There's nothing wrong with trying things out. This wasn't a good way of doing this. The easy, simple, super quick way is to get you like a 330 ohm resistor and put it on your positive or negative right here, and put this to ground and put this on your input. Put the positive on your input. If you want a quick way, I mean, that's a quick way, that because you don't have to worry about your cap because it's already flowing through a coupler. That's a quick way I do an RF tracer. That's a quick way of doing that. Cool. I mean, it's a cool idea. I may try that sometime when somebody asks for an LED upgrade for a meter. Now, when it comes to replacing this meter, man, it's working. I mean, it's got a hole in it. It's going to have a hole in it when I remove that. But it's working. I hate replacing stuff like that when it's working. Like I said, you are going to have a hole in it after that, because this is not staying here. This wire don't need to be running over the circuit like this anyway. This is becoming a small antenna. So I think we may just put you a new meter in there, man. I don't know. I'm thinking about it. What happens is they put a little bit of hot glue right here, and it has come undone. I probably should have put just a little bit more. So I'll figure out what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go see if I got a face plate for this. I mean, it's bent. I could probably remove this and clean it up and bend it back, honestly. So I'll kind of evaluate that, but you do get the little issues down here, you see. And I'd like to get you a new one on there if I got one. I mean, I've got a lot of variable, which will fit. It'll have a hole right here, and I'd have to plug it. I think I've done that before. I put a little black plug on it, which kind of enables you to upgrade it later. But I'll go through and look. I remember I got a lot of these plates in that had old stock of these that actually had the meters already in there. So I'll look around. I know I do have some old white line 500s and stuff. Maybe I'll hit you up on text and ask you about that. I've got some old white line 500 fronts and stuff like that, man. That'll probably increase the value just because of how rare it is. You don't see them. I put a 500 white line front on a 500 last year, I think, or something like that. Man, that joker people want it that bad, just because they ain't never, you don't see it a lot. I've got some Scorpion front. Those are just some rare Texas Stars they came out with that were nothing real different. It's just a little selling technique. Put a new lid on, just like the Killer Bees, you know. Killer Bee 250s and regular 250s, ain't nothing different really about them. You'll see the type of caps they're using is a little different. It's the same circuit. It's just a little selling point, that's all. Change the front on it. One thing I kind of wish Texas Star would do, which they have done in the past, because I've got some fronts for them, is some Texas Star 500s that are blue. That would be nice. That'd match a good blue LEDs and all that stuff. That would be cool. That would be cool. I'd like to, I'm sitting here blabbing, man. Let me get off here and get to work, man. I know what the heck's wrong with me.
Padlock was still in the class.
Hey, bud, I'm glad I'm combing through this real good.
Side of the lid.
I took this 10 ohm off right here. This side was just sitting in the hole. It had burned itself loose.
Leveraged it up.
Cold solder joint. Look at this right here, man.
Was in the middle of
this is a catastrophe waiting to happen.
Into this box, and the box was made.
Look at this output cap.
3 feet long.
I guarantee you, when I take this right here, I can look down there and see. Look at this.
When it did that, so it broke that.
Cold solder joint.
I pointed to that and said, I
guarantee you, I'll lift up on this, it's gonna pop up.
It's not clawed open, it's broken open.
Told you.
I saw bear tracks later on.
You can see down there where it was sitting.
They can't help but leave claw marks when they
see where it was sitting down in there?
You know, they've got these.
It's called a cold solder joint. That cat's probably been getting pretty hot.
There were no tracks.
And has worked its way loose.
It wasn't a bear, and even if it was a bear.
So yeah, I'm now gonna go through every, which I do it anyway. I'm gonna go through every lead on this whole lamp and check.
Gonna get that box open.
Touching it just enough to make watts earlier, but wouldn't last forever.
While it's trying to get that box open.
In the woods with my eyes.
Look at this! Wow.
Just expecting that thing to be out there standing and watching.
God.
Dang,
man.
We had an order the arrow tap out.
I'm glad you sent this to me, bro.
Troop was selected for the
I removed this from here, getting ready for the power wire upgrade. Okay. It's soldered fine right here.
Was told the next morning when I
went to bend this up, and I just felt how loose it was. Hurry up and turn the camera on.
They took him out somewhere.
Turn the camera on, pull up a little bit more. Look at that.
Sleep out there alone.
Golly, man. It's been a while I've seen this many cold joints in the
I didn't say anything, but I must
Texas Star. It's just because somebody's been running this hard. I know I got that up too loud. I'm sorry. I just want to jump in there real quick.
Was it like a punishment? Is that what you mean?
Crazy.
For a jet engine?
Oh boy, I just keep turning up cold solder joints, man. This is unbelievable. Look at this. I don't even know how this amp was even working earlier. I guess just because this was touching the solder.
You know, the reaction of the pilots.
Right here. Just because this was touching the solder, I guess.
Forced to release it to begin with.
Look at this.
Yes, it really is unidentified.
Why do you think they've addressed it? Why do you think?
Look at that. You can see right under there where it was soldered.
I think they were forced to.
I just cannot get over that. Look at that.
Had a pretty spirited conversation when he was here.
This is the first Texas Star I've had with this many cold solder joints. I had one right here that was about to be cold.
I saw them 2 days after.
So yeah, I'm taking this pick and I'm going through every little bitty
he and Chris
thing.
Mellon have been sort of the engineers.
And I'm taking it and I'm pushing up.
Into the New York Times.
Pushing up, making sure it's good and sturdy. And if I see something that looks a little light, I'm
the New York Times
resoldering it.
The result is
resoldering
covered as well. They've been ignoring it forever, and
unbelievable.
allowed people to keep these secrets.
All right, I'll be back.
Meant that people in Congress.
All right, he decided not to do the remote, which is you know, I guess kind of understanding after I gave him the price for it because of how much labor it was going to cost. Have to take this board out and all kinds of stuff. But yeah, this is another reason why I told you it's a good idea to, if you're wanting to go with this cosmetically too, to replace this. You see how the heat sink is see that? Has dented that really well. It's like somebody kind of fell on its face or something, man. is going in the trash, my friend. And you're lucky, brother. This is the last one. I think yeah, I don't think I have one more of these. This is super rare, man. You do not see these. You don't see these out there in circulation. There are some out there, but you very rarely see them. Brand spanking new, man. I guarantee you this guy here could go in the auction for $150 to the right buyer. I know there's somebody out there that's got one of these that would love to have this bad boy right here. So alright, man, I'm gonna clean that right there and put this on. Get your new sitting side by side, you can tell how old that is. Still works, but it ain't white no more. What, 30 years of operation, 25 plus years of operation will do. Alright, man, we got the power wire kit done. Got the new SOs in. Fixed a lot of cold solder joints in this thing. Oh my good God. Just did a quick test, man. This thing's doing quite a bit more power than it did originally already. Well, it's done circuit wise, but we're going to throw this on, that on. Go ahead and drill your hole right here for the fan. Run your wire for the fan. Put your fan kit on here. Paint your top. We'll be done, man. Put your fan kit right there. Hook you up with a little custom paint on that thing too, man. I think you'll like it. Alright, we'll be back. Alrighty, Mr. DM. The only reason I'm saying that, I don't know if you want me to use your name or not, and I can't remember if I got a CB handle for you or not, brother. I'm just going to say Mr. Moore, Mr. DM. Trying to figure out what this is blinking on my screen here. Don't tell me I'm out of space. Anyway, I don't know what that is. Hopefully it ain't nothing. I'll be right back just to be sure. I don't want to record this whole thing and it's recording. Anyway, we're done with this bad boy. Just got done painting your lid for you. Just instead of Rust-Oleum on this one, I used some high dollar automobile paint. You had some rust inside this thing too, man. I wanted to make sure to get that painted up for you so that it won't never rust again. Yeah, that's exactly what happened. I ran out of space. I had no idea I had recorded over 8 gigs of video for you already. I think it's all those cold solder joints and stuff, brother. I think I fixed at least 6 or 7 cold joints in this amp, which it was a literal miracle. I mean, a literal miracle that this amp was even working. That still blows my mind, man. Especially with the output. Sorry, getting a little bit of that cotton from where I cleaned the amp up. Right there's on that switch. Sometimes it'll get wedged in between things. But anyway, we got it done, man. I went through every single part. Excuse me for the camera there shaking around. But it still blew my mind that this winding back here was literally just sitting. Just making just enough connection. I'm surprised it didn't even break loose during shipment, man. If I went, I'll try my best to go around here and point out which ones were cold and which ones wasn't. It may be kind of hard to remember now. One of the 10 ohms were literally about to come up. I mean, I just pulled up on it and it came up. We know this one down here was cold. This one down here was cold, so I went ahead and fixed that for you. Oh. Let's see what else was cold. It's hard for me to remember now. The 10 ohm over here was cold. That's what amazed me, man. A lot of these things that had cold solder joint were where the RF was flowing through. That's what I mean by it was a miracle. A miracle. This thing was even making any watts at first. Alrighty, one of the 330s were cold. I can't remember which one it was now, but I pulled up on it and it came loose. When I'm pulling up, I'm not putting super strong pressure to break the component, just enough pressure. If it's cold, it's gonna come up. The 91 wasn't it? The output cap, yep, the output cap was cold. Another thing within the RF. Let's see. The 10 microhenry, I can't remember if it was cold, but it was not soldered well at all. I had to redo that. Let's see, we had to replace this 470 that was burnt. That bad boy right there. Oh, I can't remember if one of these 1.8s were cold. I think so. Either they were cold or I had to touch them up. There's a lot of joints I touched up that just didn't look real well. There was a ground of something that was cold and I can't remember what it was now. There was one that it was a ground. It ain't that big of a deal, honestly. You know, I could have wrote everything down that was cold, but I'm just kind of looking around. Oh, well. The metal caps right here, man. I just don't know, man. I think somebody that put this amp together just had a bad day. There was not a lot of solder at all holding these things together. So I resoldered both of these metals on here. And what was that had a ground that was cold? What was it? What was it? It wasn't the 1000. Huh. Maybe I'm thinking about there it was. This cap right here. I literally just took my finger, pushed it forward, the ground popped up. That's what it was. Alright, man. Look at that scorpion lid, brother. Boy, that's rare. My old buddy Scorpion used to work on these things. Would love to have that. So we went ahead and did our normal stuff. Soldered all the tabs right here. Thickened up the path that the RF flows through. Like I always do, full-blown power wire upgrade. Full power wire upgrade. 14 gauge wire. Teflon. More inductance than these. These are all your parts that came out of the amp. Gave you 4 new lids. The only lid that didn't have much rubbed off of it, but was kind of didn't look too well up here at the top. You see? So I went ahead and replaced that for you. So you get 4 new lens covers. Of course, we got you a new meter. Like I said, that one still works, but it's just old as crap, man. It's old and dirty, and that light's warmed it up. And they just change color over time, just like everything. Okay, went ahead and added your 1000 picofarad caps, new 104s. since these are so tall, and since these are these type of SO239s, I put the filter for this board right here. This is a little trace right here that connects over to the hot bus. This trace right here connects right over here to the hot bus. So sometimes I'll utilize that if I don't have enough room right here. It was kind of touching everything. We got two new Teflon gold-plated SO239s. Took those out, the center conductors had come loose. I'll tell you, man, I have not had to replace a relay in a long time. I ain't trying to jinx myself, man, but I hate having to replace those things. And I am very happy that I have not had to. They tend to last a while. They really do. But sometimes, you know, you'll find one that's broke there. I went through here and cleaned the box up pretty good for you, man. I didn't clean absolutely every bit of flux out. I usually don't literally clean every single bit of flux out unless the person says, hey, I want a full cleaning. Gatekeeper, give me a full cleaning. A full cleaning is going to cost you $20-25 bucks. It's going to take me about an hour or two to do. I really should be about 40 bucks, but I ain't started charging about an hour yet, y'all. I just charge about a job still. I ain't the fastest thing in the world. Put that 100 puff picofarad, excuse me, I don't say puff. We ain't out here smoking right now. 100 picofarad metal for you. Replace the DM15. By the way, I did figure out what happened. I couldn't see it, the angle. Look at this. See that resistor? Yep. It probably blew fairly quickly and welded itself together. The way they had installed that LED was not the proper best way to do it. They had the ground on the output. I don't know if they thought that was the ground right here or what, but they had the ground soldered right here and had the positive of the LED soldered to your incoming RF that comes this way and back to the relay. That's the way they had that set up. I didn't trace it down, but I think they pretty much did have it set up to where if you had the preamp running by itself, it wouldn't have been blinking. If they'd have put it on the other trace, it'd have been blinking either or. But anyway, there's a better way to do that using a simple diode and capacitor, or just the right proper resistor and you pulling it from the proper place. But you know, it is what it is, man. Just glad it didn't damage nothing. I know that. Alright, man, so we got this bad boy rolling for you. Bias looks great. Oh yeah, I forgot to went ahead and replaced that for you. This old box polyester type. I don't know exactly what type of cap it is offhand. Went ahead and replaced that. You'll see some of the older, especially the Killer Bees, use these caps. Let's see here. Just kind of looking around, man. You know, I've worked on a lot of Texas Stars, a little bit more than normal here the last week. So you get to working on so many, they start bleeding together. That's when I really do need to be writing stuff down, because I'll think I'll be naming something I done on another one. Got some good feet on here, long feet. Fan kit. Can't forget the fan kit, can we? Got you a nice little texture paint I put on there for you. Got your lid, of course, we done named that. Got your sticker back here. And how does this thing work? Oh, got your Anderson. Got your Andersons. Got your finger. Got your fingers on there, man. Some people call these things fingers there, Dave Moore. I call them fingers sometimes. I don't know what you want to call them, fingers or connectors. Whatever. Got them on for you, so I can just slide that Anderson on there when we're done. And this thing's going to be beautiful. I could throw me a little GK emblem on the that I'm not putting them on every single Texas Star because I don't have a lot of them. I'm kind of waiting when people ask me to, I just don't have a lot of those. So, all right, bud. We're in about 14.5 volts. I got the fan on high. You can hear it. Don't forget you got your switch back here. And this one. There it is. Up is high, medium's off, low is low. There's your fan speeds. Got it on high now. Boy, I can feel this air. The fans that are on these on these fan kits are very high dollar fans. They're 2 amp fans. Very high dollar. Just to make sure I was using the proper wire size, I left one on overnight and come back the next morning, excuse me, and make sure that thing hadn't heated up or nothing like that, and it wasn't. So it's good size wire size. All right, man. 1,000 watt slug RMS, 500 peak. The only reason I got that in so I can show you high, low, medium, and all that. Oh, in the corner, of course. That's a 500. Texas Star 500, even though it says Scorpion 400 in the front. By the way, here's the old K. I think I already showed it. It's definitely seen better days. Oh, yeah, I did forget. That's one thing. That's why I got the lamps right here. Your delay lamp was out. I had to put a new lamp in there for you. See, I almost forgot something. And I threw the lamp in the trash. Sometimes I meant to lay it out right here so you can see everything that come out, but I threw it in the trash, and I'm thinking. So used to throwing stuff in there. Alright, RMS, about 170 or so. Input reflect, gold, barely even movement. Barely any movement. Gold, and the coma. Alright, let's take a look at low. That's low, both depressed. 500 watt slug, middle section. Oh, almost 300 watts. Oh, hardly nothing. What is that? 30-40 bird. All right. Medium. Oh, I think that's medium. What's that? Yes, medium. 400 watts. Ooh, about 80 bird. Medium high. Ooh, yeah, I had it right. This bad boy is already doing 500 watts on medium high. That thing's kicking some booty. Ooh, over 100 bird. Ooh. Pump the voltage up just a tad. Ooh. All right. Let's take this slug out here. Put the 1,000 watt slug in. Just to see how much it is doing on 15.2 volts. PEP. Bottom scale to a little bit over 600 watts. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. And of course at that point, I don't really recommend you running this bad boy on that high of wattage. I recommend you keeping it, oh well, they're Toshiba's, you can't. I'm so used to talking about HGs and stuff. You can. I take that back. 15 and lower is a good spot. 15 and lower is a good spot. If you ever turn this thing off running high voltage like that and grab the box from up under here and feel a little bit of warmth, don't be alarmed. We've got 2 sandbars mounted down here, and they're just good enough where we can use this bottom case as a small heat sink for them. Okay. Plus we got the air that's cooling it too. So that's what that is, just so you'll know. So you won't ever be alarmed. You grab this box like this and you lift it and you're like, whoa, why is that a little warm down there? That's why. It's those sandbars, which the fans are cooling them down too, since they're in a free flow system or a forced air system. All right, brother. I could hook up a hotter radio. You want me to? It ain't really no big deal. Yeah, we'll hook up a hot radio real quick. Actually, I'll just keep it recording so I won't have to make another clip. Give me something pretty to look at while I'm hooking it up here. Fans are sucking, boy. See, it's sucking up. This right here, since it's just kind of flimsy, right here, you can see it trying to suck it up there, but you can see it doing it. You pull back down on it, see? That's the other work to do it. Alright, so let's hook up the old Stickman radio. Thanks for hanging in there with me. I wish this joker had a pause on it, but if it does, I hadn't figured it out. Alright, let's reach down here and turn my other radio off up under the bench, since they are on the same power circuit. Probably wouldn't hurt it, but just to be safe. Alright. There we go. Alright, now we pretty much a little bit more than doubled our power, out RMS wise. Go about 240 bird. Go about 720 watts. Go about 250, 260 bird. Turn the voltage up just a tad. Go. There's you about 280 bird. And of course, if I hook it up on that Beast 100 amp over there, which I haven't hooked up in a while, or put a small driver on it or a little bit stronger radio, you can get this thing up to 300, 400, 500 bird, like I've always done on the videos, which I don't really do no more. Why? Because these Toshibas, if you can find non-dots, cost over $200 a piece. So I prefer not to be keying a massive amount of power in them. I've done enough videos doing that already. If you want to see one, go watch it. I'd rather not be keying anybody's stuff up like that. Why? Because if something did go wrong, which thank God nothing ever has, I don't think, if I remember correctly, on somebody else's Texas stars like this, but if something did, I ain't got $200 just to be throwing stuff or throwing towards this right now. Plus, you have to be like, oh, I got to find a Toshiba to match it. I mean, I ain't got a lot of Toshibas on hand. I never do. I haven't found that big bulk of used Toshibas yet. So, all right, brother. I'm gonna take a couple of pictures on there, but I'll be right back, man. I'm gonna put the top on there. Let's let you take a look at it real quick with the top on, which means I will be making another clip anyway. I ain't gonna make you sit through me putting the top on. There she goes, brother. There's your baby you've been waiting for a while on. Got it, Scorpion. And it looks nice. Here's your back. Get your fan sticker on there. There's your Anderson. Keep in mind you can pull these apart if you want to. That's kind of the way I prefer them now, because when you plug them in like this, they are a little tough, you know, pulling back apart. So I kind of like running them apart like that. So alright, brother, there you go. Thanks for hanging in there. Anybody got Texas Star work like this you want to get done, give me a holler. There's a big possibility this may be the only thing I'm working on for a little while, since I've started some starting some new business ventures, internet business ventures, and we'll see what happens. Love working on Texas Stars though. Been doing it for a little while now. 73, everybody. Again, thanks for hanging in there with me, buddy. We'll see you. 73rd. Gatekeepers gone. But we'll be back.